those matter more than Bitcoin halving at this point. And so we think, regardless of what happens this year, I don't want to break this cycle the wrong way, which is what Ryan said we're doing. I think next year is a positive year. It's an up year. And that's why the second half of this prediction is we'll set new all-time. Will the government print more money next year? Yes. Will liquidity conditions become looser? Absolutely. Will institutions keep buying Bitcoin? Yes. I just don't see as much risk in this ecosystem as I do in the AI ecosystem. I'm bullish on AI, but there's a lot of debate, discussion, concern, CDS rates spiking on Oracle debt. I don't see that in Bitcoin. I just see sort of slow positive trends of regulatory progress, raising concern about the debasement trade, institutional adoption.
The 4-year Bitcoin cycle is dead. It just doesn't know it yet. For over a decade, the halving was the gospel of the crypto market, a predictable clock that dictated every boom and bust. But according to Bitwise CIO Matt Hougan, that era is officially over. We are transitioning from a speculative 4-year sprint into a 10-year grind, fueled by institutional adoption, regulatory milestones, and a fundamental shift in how the world views digital assets. Please take a little time to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on post notifications for more videos like this. You can also check out our other videos on cryptocurrencies and the overall digital asset space, and drop your comments and observations in the comment section below. Everything you do helps with the YouTube algorithm and immensely contributes to the channel's growth. Thanks, and enjoy the video.
4-year cycle is a dead man walking. It's gone. It just doesn't know it yet. It's being replaced by a 10-year grind higher. And the simple reason was what Ryan said. The factors that drove the 4-year halving are no longer that important. What's important is regulatory progress, institutional adoption, etc. The 4-year cycle is not a law passed down from God. It doesn't need to happen. It happened because of specific reasons. Those reasons are no longer relevant. And we have much bigger forces in institutional demand, regulatory progress, the debasement trade, government spending. Those matter more than Bitcoin halving at this point. And so we think, regardless of what happens this year, I don't want to break this cycle the wrong way, which is what Ryan said we're doing. I think next year is a positive year. It's an up year. And that's why the second half of this prediction is we'll set new all-time. Inputs from multiple people at Bitwise, as well as people external to Bitwise, we come up with like 80 things that might happen and people vote. But at the end of the day, it's a nuclear key thing, which is to say that both Ryan and I have to agree this has a high probability of happening. So both Ryan and I are in lockstep that the 4-year cycle is dead, that we'll move to new all-time highs. But we do get input from everyone at Bitwise. We have 140 people. It'd be silly not to talk to them. Yeah, there are a few things to this that I would love to point out. The first is, look at that chart. Bitcoin's in green. It's already calmer than Nvidia. One of my favorite things about crypto is things that people believe are true because they used to be true, but are no longer true. I think there's a lot of alpha in sort of exploiting that anchoring bias. People believe that Bitcoin is used by criminals, no longer true, was true, no longer true. There's alpha in that. People believe that Bitcoin is not held by institutions, was true. Today, Harvard, the Abu Dhabi Sovereign Wealth Fund, other institutions all own Bitcoin. People believe Bitcoin is extraordinarily volatile, orders of magnitude more volatile than stocks, but the data doesn't lie. It no longer is. And the reason for that is it's been hugely de-risked. We've moved government regulation risk, liquidity risk, ETF adoption risk, a bunch of technical risk. It's been hugely de-risked, and that's reflected in the market. So we think there's a lot of alpha in realizing that. And then the other thing I would say is, just objectively from where I sit, 2026 has more risk in AI than it does in Bitcoin, right? There are all these concerns about the AI bubble, of circular revenue. There's pushback from Bernie Sanders is saying we should ban AI or something, right? There's more risk in that ecosystem than when I look at Bitcoin and ask myself, will the government print more money next year? Yes. Will liquidity conditions become looser? Absolutely. Will institutions keep buying Bitcoin? Yes. I just don't see as much risk in this ecosystem as I do in the AI ecosystem. I'm bullish on AI, but there's a lot of debate, discussion, concern, CDS rates spiking on Oracle debt. I don't see that in Bitcoin. I just see sort of slow positive trends of regulatory progress, raising concern about the debasement trade, institutional adoption. I don't know. I think this trend that we've seen in the last few months is just going to continue, and feel pretty strongly about this prediction. If you think about tech broadly, what are the areas that are growing the fastest? AI is growing extraordinarily fast, and crypto is growing extraordinarily fast. I mean, this is just a market where the underlying industry is growing at something like 60% per year on average. It's a great market to build a company in. And then the reason specifically we think it will continue, or at least I think it will continue, or maybe even accelerate in 2026, is we're seeing crypto now integrate into the real world, right? We're seeing the growth of stablecoins. We're seeing the growth of tokenization. We have Coinbase launching prediction markets. We have Figure doing a lot of very interesting things. We have Circle doing extraordinarily well. Those are all trends that I'm just very confident in will grow significantly. We could see stablecoins double next year, right? That wouldn't surprise people. What other industry are you talking about 10, 20, $30 billion companies where their underlying market could double next year, right? They're just, the world discounts this for some reason that's not clear to me. They're like, crypto, somehow we don't believe it. Scott Bessent is telling you that the stablecoin market will 12x over the next 3 years. Much of that value will accrue to companies building stablecoins. They're part of, like, it's just not that, this is not an extraordinary prediction. This is one of the fastest growing areas of tech. Investors will reward it. Valuations are still compressed. We're pretty bullish. I think it's just a good story.
People believe Bitcoin is orders of magnitude more volatile than stocks. In reality, data shows Bitcoin has become calmer than Nvidia. The narrative that Bitcoin is only for criminals has been replaced by the reality of it being held by the Abu Dhabi Sovereign Wealth Fund and Harvard's endowment. In 2026, Hougan argues that AI actually carries more structural risk than Bitcoin. While AI faces concerns over circular revenue and potential bans, Bitcoin's catalysts, government money printing, and institutional buying are near certainties.
Look, people have opinions about things. They want to bet on them. We'll look back at this spike like we look back at the 2013 Bitcoin spike to 1,000. We'll be like, oh, that was cute. This is going much, much higher. I think this is a decade-long trend. We're very bullish.
Okay, very cool. Yeah,
and
LG,
yeah,
go ahead.
Just to dig underneath that, I'm going to do well on my bets too. I know where you're going with this. I'm going to do.
Are they going to be publicly shared on this show, or are they going to be? You're not going to tell us.
Let's do it. We'll do a whole. I'll do a 10 bets for 2026. I'll take a look. We'll do it.
Listen, Josh Shapiro is at 3%. He's moved. That's a 3x from when you first said that. Matt, he's moving. He's up there with The Rock now. Him and The Rock are tied at 3% each. Still 1% below Kamala Harris.
How's Wicked doing? That was Matt's other call.
Come on, Ryan. Come on.
I can't. Yeah. Here, let's look it up. Movie 2025.
Do we have to do this, guys?
It's mine. I think after those horrible opening weekends, or the second weekend was bad, it's very clearly Minecraft. I don't think Avatar has much of a chance at this point. There's only 12 days left in the year, so it needed an astronomical opening. But yeah, it looks like it got flipped pretty good. When did it die off? Oh, it wasn't even.
I think Thanksgiving.
Not even in this chart. Yeah, I think the Thanksgiving release it didn't do. I don't know if they had those. The two stars had like some very bizarre online interviews. I don't know if that helped I don't know if that helped their case for this.
Even Peter Lynch got some bets wrong. It's all good. It's all good.
I like that. All right, let's go. And I guess we need a poly market specifically for your predictions as well. I think that'd be a lot of fun. Maybe that's the future of prediction markets too.
There you go.
A lot easier for people to spin them up on their own. Prediction number 6: stablecoins will be blamed for destabilizing an emerging market currency. Okay, so what do you guys mean specifically by this? Who wants to take it?
Yeah, I'll take this one. Look, we love to throw in a spicy prediction every once in a while. This is one that fits that bill. Everyone talks about stablecoins being so good, which they are. They make payments cheaper. They make the world global. You can move money at an instant for a fee of a penny. For the poor people who are in countries with high inflation, they can escape that into the relative stability of the US dollar. That is a great story. But the flip side of that story is if you're a government in one of those countries experiencing high inflation, the last thing you want is people escaping your currency into the relative stability of the US dollar. And I think what we're pointing at in this prediction is that stablecoins are now big enough to matter. And there are countries that have high inflation. Nigeria is one of them, where stablecoin use is extremely high. And we're starting to see pushback from folks like the IMF, from folks like European leaders, and indeed from these emerging market countries that are sort of ringing the alarm that, hey, wait, maybe we don't want to dollarize the world on stablecoins. So we're very bullish on stablecoins. I think nothing stops the train. But I do think next year is the year that you'll have the reactionary pushback from a few countries that say, hold on, you're messing with our economy, right? And I think they'll be blamed for destabilizing at least one emerging market currency next year. And they'll have to push through that sort of negative story. Well, look, if the Clarity Act passes, it's fait accompli that the whole world is moving on chain. You have the chair of the SEC saying all US stocks will be tokenized in the next couple of years. You have every major asset manager moving in this direction. You have other regulators in other markets pushing people there. The last piece of the puzzle to sort of guarantee that future is this fundamental piece of market infrastructure legislation. Because right now, sort of crypto's pro-regulatory status is a castle built to some degree on sand, right? It's built on the fact that we have a pro-crypto SEC, pro-crypto regulators, but in a new administration, if we get a violent swing in American politics, you could have a return of anti-crypto regulators. And the largest institutions aren't going to build for this blockchain-based future until it's a foundation of concrete, right? That's what they need to build. The Clarity Act will have that. If it passes, it's all systems go on our blockchain-based financial future. And that means you're talking about markets measured in hundreds of trillions of dollars. And from my perspective, the two leading blockchains that support that, there's no way they don't go to a new all-time high. If we have this all clear signal that, look, hundreds of trillions of dollars are moving on chain, then the current valuation of something like Solana sitting well below $100 billion looks crazy, right? If it doesn't happen, if we're still in this sort of regulatory muck, then I think it's less certain. There are worlds in which these assets get to new all-time highs, and there's worlds in which they sort of suffer. And I'm not saying if we don't get the Clarity Act, it's a terrible year. I'm just saying if we do get the Clarity Act, I think the market is too large and too certain to hold these leading assets down for long.
Oh, is that supposed to happen soon? Right? Isn't that at the top of the list?
What does soon mean in Washington, LG? Look, it was supposed to happen this year. David Sachs, the crypto czar, just put out a tweet yesterday that said he thinks it will happen in January. I think he put out that tweet in part because crypto was worried it was never going to happen. The US government might shut. There's so many unknowns. Never bet on anything certain in Washington, except that Josh Shapiro is undervalued on Pod Market.
Please take a little time to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on post notifications for more videos like this. You can also check out our other videos on cryptocurrencies and the overall digital asset space, and drop your comments and observations in the comment section below. Everything you do helps with the YouTube algorithm and immensely contributes to the channel's growth. Thanks, and enjoy the video.